Hello, welcome to IT Expert YouTube video series. Today we are going to talk about BDD, Behavioral Driven Development. What is BDD? BDD, Behavioral Driven Development, is a software development approach that was developed from Test-Driven Development (TDD). BDD includes test case development in the form of simple English statements inside a feature file, which is human-generated. Test case statements are based on the system's behavior and more user-focused. BDD is written in simple English language statements rather than a typical programming language, which improves the communication between technical and non-technical teams and stakeholders. Why BDD is very popular. Some benefits of using BDD are: 1. Bridges the gap between business stakeholders and the technical team through a common platform. Hence, communication among the team becomes more transparent. 2. Scenarios can be written by anyone, including people from a client side, a member of the business team, management, etc. Hence, the requirements, scenarios are getting covered. 3. Developers will write the code conforming to the scenarios written in the BDD framework instead of writing or developing the code as per their understanding. 4. Testing becomes sharper, time spent in the creation and subsequent execution of a test is saved. Critical defects, especially those which can impact the business, can be found in the front end itself. 5. Code, documentation relating to BDD are easily understandable and maintainable, as no other effort is required to maintain the code as the documents. Its corresponding code are already related. Hence, what is mentioned in the documentation, that is scenarios, will have its corresponding code. 6. Since we have very easy understandable scenarios, we can easily break them into tasks, subtasks, etc. in a logical manner. 7. The team can be more dynamic, agile, as there is an upfront clarity about the scenarios, acceptance criteria, and almost accurate test estimation. 8. Very good platform for a new join to groom with the existing team, both in terms of documentation and the code, because of its simplicity. 9. Not only helps in validating the scenarios, mostly UI, behavior related, but it also helps in unit level test cases. 10. Also, it is useful to track the team's progress from day one because the requirements, scenarios are clearly defined, something which the developers usually struggle to collect in TDD. Hence, implementation of BDD removes the assumption that end client does not think about the importance of testing. Client does not want to involve themselves in the testing activities, etc. What is feature file? The feature file is the essential segment of Cucumber tool, which is used to write acceptance steps for automation testing. Acceptance steps generally follow the application specification. A feature file is usually a common file which stores feature, scenarios, and feature description to be tested. The feature file is an entry point to write the Cucumber tests and used as a live document at the time of testing. The extension of the feature file is .feature. Each functionality of the software must have a separate feature file in order to ensure the working of login functionality. We are implementing the Cucumber test by creating a feature file. It will verify whether the login functionality is working properly or not. After performing the automation testing, a table is created as a result of automation testing. This table is used in tags. Feature file with multiple scenario. Feature file can contain multiple scenarios or scenario outlines. We can write all possible scenarios of a particular feature in a feature file by using the keyword scenario or scenario outline. One scenario can be separated from another. However, a single feature file can contain any number of scenarios but focuses only on one feature, such as registration, login, etc. at a time. Therefore, it is better to keep the scenarios related to a particular feature in a single feature file. Scenarios can be executed parallel, or you can execute them together in a group. Let us take an example for more clarity. If we do not need to execute a particular scenario at a time, then we can comment that scenario. In Eclipse, to comment a multi-line or use block comment, first select all the line to be commented and then press Ctrl+//. Similarly, to remove comments, we need to press Ctrl+//. Other IDEs may contain other shortcuts to do this. While commenting any scenario, do not forget to comment the complete scenario. Otherwise, remaining lines of scenario which are not commented will be considered as a part of the previous scenario. What Maven dependencies are needed? Before creating Selenium Maven testing project for Cucumber testing in Eclipse, First, we must have the following dependencies in our computer system: Java, Eclipse, Cucumber Eclipse plugin, WebDriver Java client, Selenium. Here we are creating a Maven project to test the registration feature through the data table. Step 1. In order to create a Maven project, first, go to File, then New, then Others, then Maven Project, then Next. After clicking the Next, a window will prompt. In this window, we need to provide group id. Group id identifies the project uniquely across all projects. We have provided group id as com.java t-point. You can give any name on your own choice. Also, provide artifact id. Artifact id represents the name of the project. We have provided artifact id as Cucumber testing. You can give any name on your own choice. Click on Finish. Step 2. Open pom.xml by using the following steps. Go to Package Explorer on the left side of the Eclipse window. Expand the project which is created for data table testing in Cucumber, then select its pom.xml file. Now open pom.xml and add the following dependencies. Add dependency inside pom.xml for Selenium. This will indicate to Maven which Selenium jar files will be downloaded from the central repository to the local repository. In pom.xml file, create a dependencies tag inside the project tag. Now, inside the dependencies tag, create a dependency tag and provide the following information within it. Step 3. Add dependency inside pom.xml for Cucumber Java. It will indicate to Maven which Cucumber files will be downloaded from the central repository to the local repository. Now, inside the dependencies tag, create a dependency tag and provide the following information within it. Step 4. Add dependency for Cucumber Junit. It will indicate to Maven which Cucumber Junit files will be downloaded from the central repository to the local repository. Now, inside the dependencies tag, create a dependency tag and provide the following information within it. Step 5. Add dependency for Junit. It will indicate to Maven which Junit files will be downloaded from the central repository to the local repository. Now, inside the dependencies tag, create a dependency tag and provide the following information within it. After completing all dependencies, verify binaries. Once pom.xml is completed successfully, then save it. Go to your project, then clean, then it can take a few minutes. Now, create a package named data table under src inside test inside Java folder of your project. Step 6. Create a feature file. Inside the package data table, create a feature file named datatable.feature. Inside the feature file, write the following text. Save this file. Step 7. Creation of the step definition file. Create the step definition file inside the package data table with extension.java. Named as datatable.java. Inside the step definition file, write the following code. Step 8. After creating the step definition file, now, we need to create a runner class file. Create a runner class inside the package data table with extension.java and named as runtest.java. Inside runner class runtest.java, write the following code. Save this file, and run the test by using the following options. Select the runner class, that is, runtest.java file inside your package. Right-click on it, and select the option, Run as Junit. If your execution is successful, you will observe the following things. Java, t-point website gets loaded. We will see the home page or the page provided by the respective website. Data can be entered on the registration page. Submit button will be clicked. How to generate Cucumber report. Pretty format, HTML report. Pretty format generates the Cucumber test report in the HTML format, that is a HTML file. It is the most readable report format. It generates the report in the same way as it is a feature file. So tracing is also made easy. Also, you can specify the location where you want this report to be placed after the test execution. It can be local directory. We can specify target directory for report as any local directory of the machine where the test will run. Server directory. Also, we have a provision to specify a target directory as any directory on the server, which is publicly accessible. This generally helps when we want our clients or stakeholders to view the test results at any given point of time. Example. Let us automate an example of a pretty format. Step 1. Create a Maven project named Cucumber Report in Eclipse. Step 2. Create a package named Cucumber Report under src and to test into Java. Step 3. Create a feature file named Cucumber Report.feature. Write the following text within the file and save it. Here scenario first will pass, whereas the second scenario will fail, so that we can witness how the pass and failed report looks like. Step 4. Create a step definition file. Select and right-click on the package outline. Click on New File. Give the file name as cucumberreport.java. Write the following text within the file and save it. Step 5. Create a runner class file. Create a runner class named runtest.java inside the package. Write the following code. Save the file. Select runtest.java file from Package Explorer. Right-click and select the option, Run As. Select Unit Test. You will observe the following things when you run this class file. Both the scenario will get executed one by one. A folder named Destination will be created inside the target directory. The report will be there named as index.html. Open index.html with web browser. You will see the report mentioned in the following image. It exactly highlights the color of failed scenario. Moreover, you will see highlight for failed step in that scenario. This makes the debugging very easy. JSON report. JSON JavaScript object notation is another format for generating Cucumber test reports. JSON is an object containing a lot of information stored in text format. JSON reports bring a different value to the table. JSON report can also be used as a payload of information to be transferred between different servers. Further, it can be used to be displayed as a web page. In a nutshell, JSON reports can be used by other application. Change the format option in the runner file as follows. Run the test using option. Select Run Test.java file from Package Explorer. Right-click and select option Run As. Select Unit Test. You will observe the following things when you run this class file. Both the scenario will get executed one by one. The report will be there named as cucumber.json as provided in runner class. Open cucumber.json file with the text editor. You will see the report mentioned in the following screenshot after placing line breaks. How BDD brings product owner and developer and QA all in one page. You can write a feature file in Notepad or some popular IDEs like Visual Studio, Eclipse, and IntelliJ, etc. Basically, there is no need to know any particular tools. But the most important thing is how to prepare these scenarios. There is a very popular practice known as the Three Amigos session. Here is a brief about this session as described in the glossary on Agile Alliance. Three Amigos refers to the primary perspectives to examine an increment of work before, during, and after development. Those perspectives are: business, what problem are we trying to solve? Development, how might we build a solution to solve that problem? Testing, what about this, what could possibly happen? People holding these different perspectives should collaborate to define what to do, and agree on how they know when it is done correctly. The end result of such a collaboration results in a clearer description of an increment of work, often in the form of examples, leading to a shared understanding for the team. If you are developing software using Scrum, then you may like to host these sessions during product backlog refinement or sprint planning. It is because the product owner and the development team participate during both, where the product owner provides business perspective and the development team, consisting of developers and testers along with other members, provides development and testing perspectives. What is a complex story requirement? Take the above example of flight search. This looks very simple, but can it be delivered in 2 weeks of the sprint? Do we have an answer to the below questions? Who is the user persona of this story? Do you know the data sources for each airline? Do we know what these personas expect from this feature? What is going to be the order of data? Will have filters? What are the actions users perform? Questions can be much more than the above and need to explore, develop, and validate all those. It may or may not possible to complete this feature in one sprint. Does it also depend on all work that has been mentioned in definition of done DoD? Yes, it is. So how to slice this feature to have a releasable product increment by meeting DoD at the end of the sprint? Use the BDD scenario below to slice it and then prioritize based on the value that you see in each slice. Develop stories incrementally and ensure you get feedback to maximize user experience and optimize the value of the work. Basic examples of slicing using scenarios. Now change the scenario to search flights for one airline at a time. Because connecting multiple sources may not be possible in one sprint, and modify it like below. Now the team can decide to build only those scenarios that can be delivered within one sprint and rest scenarios in upcoming sprints if it makes sense. The above scenarios can also be further sliced like below if needed. Scenario: one-way flight of Indigo. Scenario: return flight of Indigo. Scenario: multiple location search for Indigo, etc. BDD disadvantage. Creating the scenarios and maintaining the files needs lots of effort and time. So it is not good for a short project which we need to complete in a short interval of time. But for a long-term project it is worth using the BDD approach. We need good communication between the person who is developing the automation code and the person who is writing the features files. Person who is writing the automation needs these files and scenarios for developing the automation script. If they do not have a mutual understanding of the files, then it is hard to develop the project. It defines test data, which makes it easier to create automated test cases. But when used to execute test cases, it raises the problem. When the test environment is never left in a known state. The test cases are dependent on the external data, often causing the problem. When we execute the test cases, it is very hard to convert given statements into setup instructions and scripts that puts the system into the known state before the when statements are executed. You need to create the document for the BDD project, because there are many files and scenarios which need to be understood, so that we create a documentation. The main drawbacks of BDD are twofold. Since correspondences between the client and the developer are basic, if the client is not available, it will be hard to work past ambiguities and questions created by the client stories. Interview questions. What is Cucumber? What are the advantages of Cucumber? To run functional tests written in a plain text, Cucumber tool is used. It is written in a Ruby programming language. Advantages of Cucumber are: you can involve business stakeholders who cannot code. End user experience is a priority. High code reuse. What are the two files required to execute a Cucumber test scenario? Two files required to execute a Cucumber test scenario are: features, step definition. Give an example of a behavior is driven test in plain text. Feature: visit XYZ page in abc.com. Scenario: visit abc.com. Given: I am on abc.com. When I click on XYZ page, then I should see ABC page. What is the language used for expressing scenario in feature file? Gherkin language is used to express scenario in feature files, and Ruby files containing unobtrusive automation testing for the steps and scenarios. What is BDD? BDD, or behavior-driven development, is a process of developing software based on TDD, test-driven development, which focuses on the behavioral specification of software testing units. What software do you need to run a Cucumber web test cases? Ruby and its development kit. Cucumber IDE like Active, State, Water to simulate browser, Ansicon and Respec. What does a Cucumber features or support file contain? Features or support file contains supporting Ruby code. Files in support load before those in step definitions, which can be useful for environment configuration. What is a feature file? Features file contain a high-level description of the test scenario in simple language. It is known as Gherkin, which is a plain English text language. Feature file consists of the following components like: what is a step definition? Step definition maps the test case steps and the feature files to code. It executes the steps on application under test and checks the outcomes against expected results. In order to execute step definition, it must match the given component in a feature. Name any 2 build management tools that can be integrated with Cucumber. Gradle. Maven. Thank you for watching this video. We provide hands-on training with labs, homework, group projects. Prepare you for the certification. Provide real projects. Internship opportunities. Support you and resume LinkedIn. Staffing support. Provide tech references. In-person online class. Class retake options and more. Call us at 847-350-9034 for your free career consultation meeting. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for the latest videos.